It's funny, Holly, you kind of, I don't know, I think of you as like almost like, what is the lady that has the like little birds that sit on her shoulder and talk to her?
Mary Poppins.
Yes. Like, yeah, that's totally you. I love it. Hello and welcome back to M2O TV. I have with me a very special guest today, Holly from Holly Help Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Holly Martin with Holly Help Incorporated. We are solely organizers here in Los Angeles. Our focus is move management and estate setup and unpack.
It's been a really hot season, hasn't it?
It has. It's been very hot. So staying hydrated is vital.
Yes.
Taking frequent water breaks and stretch breaks.
See, you're already getting your first tip from Holly at Holly Help right there. Stay hydrated. I love it.
If the client, say, is clearing out their refrigerator and they have some extra soda, I may offer that to the movers to keep them going. I carry 3 water bottles with me at all times. I have a huge Yeti in the back of my truck for emergencies. I have my medium Yeti and my regular size Yeti. So I'm Yeti'd up for my water consumption. I have smaller crews and I know it's gonna be a hot day. I will try to bring some liquid treat like a Gatorade or iced tea if I can.
It's so sweet of you. Do we offer lunch? Do we offer to buy them pizza? Do we understand that they're going to maybe stop at 7-Eleven when they're in between the 2 locations? And what kind of break are they going to take? And like, what are the expectations around that?
If the day is going smoothly and the schedule is well planned out, then they're going to load the truck in the morning. They're going to stop for their break. And then they're going to come and unload in the afternoon and everyone should be well fed. However, not everything goes to plan. And so sometimes if the day is going super long and the client is in the Hollywood Hills and there's no close place for the guys to stop in between, I will suggest that the client feed the movers to keep them on site.
And typically the client just recommends it on their own. They're like, hey, should I get pizza? And then we'll actually ask them like, what kind of pizza? Is there any restriction? And usually the moving guys are so easy. They're like, yeah, whatever. Just like.
Yes, pizza is a common meal for people who are moving in. Yeah. And I will not turn down a slice if I have time to stop and eat.
What are like 3 things that you discuss with your clients that they need to be taking into consideration before move day even happens?
Kids, pets, locations are the top 3 things to think about. There are so many questions to ask, and we have a moving checklist that we give to our clients. And if you're going to be working with a professional organizer and a move manager, they really should have a checklist for you to go over and just get you thinking about every aspect of the move from beginning to end. Another major question that I haven't mentioned is whether they have children or pets. If they have young children and they're intending to sleep at their home the first night of the move, then that's a more detailed conversation, because we want to be able to set that kids' room up first and make sure that they have a familiar space to go to when they come home from daycare or school or whatever. Pets too, I mean, they need to have a game plan of where their pets are going to be, because even if they have a nice dog, you don't know how pets are going to react when all of a sudden there's men moving around furniture and moving boxes. So I always recommend that the pets be taken care of before anyone arrives to start moving that day.
It's always tricky on move day as things are coming in. There's multiple guys and girls bringing things in off of the truck, and it gets really hectic and it's hard for them to know exactly where everything goes. But in an ideal world, when they set down a box or a piece of furniture, it's in the exact room, if not exact location, where the client wants it to be at the end of the day or the end of the move. So how do you manage directing traffic. Let's say if somebody watching is not hiring a move day manager or a professional organizer, and they are the ones standing at the front door guiding the traffic, how do you manage it all?
If you're managing your move yourself, for instance, you want to make sure that you have the Post-its up on each wall of where furniture is going. This will ensure, and then also be sure to put a Post-it for boxes. So if you're working with the movers, they should know first if the first item that's coming into the house is a box, that they don't stack boxes where the furniture is going to be going, so they don't have to move things twice. You also try to color coordinate the rooms. That's what we do. We have reusable signs that we put up in every room that coincides with the boxes. Definitely direct outside of the house so that things coming in aren't going in the wrong direction.
Whew, you really get your blood pumping when you're in the middle of all of that happening. It's like,
yeah, and sometimes, you know, if you have a big enough team, I'll station one person outside of the house to direct in, and then another person in the general living area to direct further into the house. It depends how big the property is. I have signs that say, please respect privacy, don't enter, this is where the pets are located. During the initial walkthrough, before anything gets moved into the house, you'll have the lead mover come in with you and show him all your Post-its and all your signs, so that the lead already should have an idea of where everything goes and how to direct his people or his or her people.
And it is really important that not only the lead mover knows, but like his whole team, because sometimes it doesn't always get communicated, unfortunately. Like I said, if you're not having anyone professional helping you, yourself out there watching, that might be a really helpful tip for you. So
yeah, and I also recommend that at the end of the day, you also do a final walkthrough with your movers to make sure that no mistakes have been made, that you like the placement of the furniture.
We're going to talk next about handling the bumps, because they are inevitable. We're talking scuffed walls, muddy shoes, broken items. Things happen. We already talked about the fact that moving is just a little chaotic. So how do you recommend that somebody watching would handle when these kind of bumps happen?
So during your initial walkthrough with the movers, have them prepare the space before any boxes move in. So you know how you're doing your walkthrough with your movers and you're pointing out where the furniture goes. Well, at that time, they should bring in some moving blankets, and they should lay down a blanket at the front door to make sure the entry doesn't get scuffed. They should anticipate the wrapping around of stairways, and I usually have them drape a blanket around that. So that's a little bit of prep work that needs to happen before the boxes start being brought in, and that should eliminate a lot of the scuffs. There really shouldn't be, unless they have to hoist a king size mattress around a staircase or something. You should be okay there. Mistakes happen, and you're just there to make sure that you try to catch everything and walk through with your movers, make sure you're happy with what everything's placed. And I always recommend checking the truck as well. If you're working on your own, just glance in the back of the truck. However, if you've just done construction, let the painters know you might want to do a little bit of touch up at the end. I mean, it's inevitable that there's some scuffing that may happen. And then if something breaks, look, I believe it's like ripping a Band-Aid off, not to use that cliche, but I want to tell the client immediately if a wine glass breaks, I'll just point it out to them. And they know that they've been prepped, their expectations have been managed, and just, they know that we're moving thousands of their items. And yes, one item might not make it. We have the movers fill out a damage report if it's the mover's fault. But most insurance should cover those little things. But it is inevitable that at some point something might happen, and we're there to hopefully help them ease through this process as much as possible.
I do recommend, for the small amount of the cost of the insurance compared with, what could potentially break or go wrong or get scratched or dropped or whatever, sometimes it is really worth it to get that extra insurance.
Homeowners insurance should cover some of that as well. So not everyone wants to go with the mover's insurance, but yes, having insurance is vital for the move, and the client should be prepared for that.
Absolutely. I just want to wrap up by like giving you the opportunity to just tell us anything about like, really like that move day, because it's so stressful for so many people as they're like navigating through the, as we've already mentioned, long, potentially hot, potentially stressful day, how to make it through with a huge amount of success.
I would say that I've never regretted having too many people, but I have absolutely regretted not having enough people to help. Experienced professionals, of course. I just mean asking for help when you think you need the help. If you're taking time off work to move, figure out how much, what can you afford to spend, and hire a couple of extra people, even if it's an extra mover, that will shrink your day and make your day shorter, ideally, so that you have more time to get settled and unpack so you can go back to your regular life. Hire that extra help. It's worth it in the end.
That's why at Mission to Organize, we bring large teams so that we can get it done really quickly. If you have just 2 people unpacking, it could take a whole week. But if we bring in a team of 4 to 6, professional organizers, you can get it done in 1 or 2 days. And like Holly said, get right back to work, get back to living, get back to cooking in your kitchen, and have everything perfectly in place. So that is our goal as professional organizers. We're here to help our clients and make life a little bit easier and more pleasant. So Holly, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I hope everybody out in the LA area calls Holly Help Incorporated to help them with their move. She is a boss. And take care. If you're here in Chicago, don't forget to call Mission to Organize. We're on YouTube. You should check out her YouTube channel. And thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I love you to the moon and back.